Okay, we had a false start there. It is noon and we are having some technical difficulties here, and I had to change routers and all that kind of stuff because it wouldn't connect. So I apologize for being a little bit late, but I am here for our Friday Lunch and Learn. I think you're going to be very excited about this. There are two articles that I'm looking at, and they're both about the mitochondria. So if you don't know that word, you don't remember back in the, I think it's fourth grade health class, when we started learning about cellular differentiation and that kind of thing, then you're going to enjoy this. Now, for those of you that don't know, mitochondria is the powerhouse in every single cell. And so the research is coming out even stronger now that anti-aging, okay, and we all want that. We all want to live a long time, but we don't want to get old. We don't want to get sick. We don't want to get infirm and that kind of thing. And so what we're finding is that mitochondrial support is very, very important. Now, this article is talking about mitochondria, and it says that it is the first responder to ease chronic inflammation. And we know that chronic inflammation is the root of all disease. Now, we've talked about this before. Inflammation is a very good thing. Inflammation means that your body can mount an immune response to any kind of invader. So whether that is a germ or a bacteria or a parasite or whatever, that's what we need. We need the body to do that. And so some of the first signs of inflammation are pain, fever, swelling, redness, those kind of things. And so when you see those kind of things, you know that your inflammation is fighting something and that your immune system is working properly. Now, what we don't want is we don't want that inflammation to go on forever and ever. So let me just kind of give you a little bit of history here, and then we can move forward with some remedies so that we don't have all of this chronic inflammation, okay? A recent study published in Nature Metabolism, researchers found that the mitochondria act as a first line of defense in sensing DNA stress. Now, we know that DNA stress is a big deal, okay? We know that all throughout our lifetime, our DNA is being changed, our DNA is replicating, our DNA is mutating, genes are being turned on, genes are being turned off. All of that has to do with the DNA process. And so we see here that your mitochondria is the first line of defense for that. Okay, the mitochondria will sense that the cells are under attack, and it will warn the rest of the cell to be prepared to protect itself. Now, I just love this. I mean, I've got a vivid imagination, and I can just hear sirens and flashlights and all that kind of stuff, like warning, warning, you guys be on alert. So this is really, really important. It says achieving optimal health is intricately linked to mitochondrial function for anyone over the age of 40. So of course I'm over the age of 40, and maybe you are too. I think we've got some young ones watching that are not quite there, but it won't be too long. So we want to make sure that the mitochondrial function of each and every one of our cells is at its optimal. It says the mitochondria are the batteries of cells, and dysfunction is present in a whole host of chronic conditions, most notably aging. After the age of 40, our mitochondria begins a process of natural decline that mirrors the deterioration of our bodies during the aging process. Now, I just want to extrapolate a little bit here. Okay, some people, you look at people and you go, how old are you? And they'll say they're X age. And you're going to have one or two comments. You're going to go, oh my God, you look great for your age. Or, oh my goodness, you've had a hard life. You don't look great for your age. So I want you to take that a little step farther. If they look good for their age, then they're not having a lot of mitochondrial dysfunction. If they look really old for their age, then they are having mitochondrial dysfunction. And so we want to make sure that we ourselves are not on that bad side, okay? We want people always to look at us and say, oh my goodness, she looks good for her age, okay? So, I see some people watching, and everybody watching that I can see looks really, really good for their age. So this is good. Okay, it says dysfunction we are seeing dysfunction at younger and younger ages. Chronic inflammation and the increase of chronic medication use in young people is the leading cause of early onset dysfunction and should be first considered for doctors who treat patients with mitochondrial issues, okay? It says mitochondrial support with diet and lifestyle changes and supplements is the first step in any successful effort to slow aging or recapture the energy with a successful effort to slow aging and to increase vigor. Supporting the mitochondria is also foundational treatment in any chronic inflammatory disease. So what is a chronic inflammatory disease? We think of diabetes, we think of cancer, we think of any degenerative disease, okay? So let's look at diet. Going gluten-free and eating a low-grain diet with reduced simple sugars can alleviate mitochondrial dysfunction. Adding good, high-quality dietary fats, anti-inflammatory nutrients, and certain superfoods are known to enhance mitochondrial function, and it can also help. These superfoods include almonds, avocados, grass-fed beef, coconut, olive oil, wild salmon, green tea. I want to tell you something else. We've got a product here in the clinic, and we mentioned this last week with the, we were talking about superfoods and that kind of thing, and there was a product that I talked about last week called PXP Royale. Now, PXP Royale is a polysaccharide polypeptide that we have used in the past with great success in our weight loss clinic. And it does go deep, deep into the cell, and it regenerates that mitochondrial engine. So if you're somebody that is having some mitochondrial dysfunction, you've got some long-term inflammation, that might be a product that you want to look at because it goes very, very deep into the cell. You take it on an empty stomach, so it is absorbed absolutely 100%. The only thing I don't like about it is gritty, and I don't like grit. I don't like drinking something and it doesn't dissolve all the way, and so on this particular product is very, very finely milled, and it just doesn't dissolve. It takes a little bit of a time. I'm very impatient. I want to put my supplements in the jar, drink it, and be on my way. I don't want to be waiting around. On this particular product, you've got to put it in the lukewarm water. You got to let it dissolve a little bit, like about 10 minutes, and then you can take it. It doesn't have a taste. It tastes just like water. It looks gray. It doesn't look very appetizing, but boy, oh boy, what it does to the mitochondria. Now, we used it in our weight loss clinic because a lot of times when people came in, they were heavy and they had no energy at the cellular level. And so we found that using this product would increase their mitochondrial action. And we had one gentleman that lost 9 pounds in 1 week just taking this product. So I don't know what your health concerns are other than inflammatory processes, but this is a really, really good product that we have here in the clinic, and it helps to regenerate your mitochondria. So the second thing that you can do is lifestyle. A sedentary lifestyle is not healthy. Now, people, we know this. We know we have to move. We know we need to get regular exercise, but do we get it? Well, maybe we do and maybe we don't, but that really needs to be a priority. It says exercise tailored to the unique needs of the individual can help. Another good habit is intermittent fasting, okay? Or they call it time-restricted eating. Now, I don't know if you understand intermittent fasting, but basically you fast, not a whole day, not a whole week, anything like that, but you decide to have, I think it is like 14 to 18 hours where you don't eat. So you would eat like maybe your last meal at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and then you wouldn't eat until like 10 o'clock the next morning. And so what that does is it helps the body clean itself up. It helps the body rid itself of toxins, and the body can re-energize the mitochondria when it's not digesting the food that we eat. Remember, most people with mitochondria dysfunction are heavy, and so they don't need to be eating that much anyway. And so intermittent fasting is a good thing to do on that. I like intermittent fasting, and there's been all kinds of research shown that if you do intermittent fasting and you do calorie restriction on your food, that you actually live a lot longer with a lot fewer ailments. So I'm just going to throw that out there, okay? It says that the intermittent fasting allows the cells to carry out autophagy, which essentially is a process in which the cells recycle themselves. And so you're not able to work with autophagy if you're always consuming nutrients or maybe empty nutrients if you don't shop well and that kind of thing. Okay, so supplements. And of course, we have great quality of supplements here. We only have a very few manufacturers because I'm just real picky. And I don't want to be selling things that don't work. I only want to be selling things that do work. And so we've got a limited selection, but we do have the best of the best. And so if you're looking for that, you're in the right spot here. So it says supplement treatments replace nutrients known to make the mitochondria function more efficiently. Some examples are CoQ10, okay, carnitine, alpha-lipoic acid, vitamin C, vitamin E, and others. Now, I just want to tell you, if you're buying vitamin C made here in the United States, and there are a lot of brand names that you would know, okay, if it is in the United States, it's almost 100% sure that it is made from genetically modified corn. So you're not going to be getting the benefit that you think you're going to be getting. Now, we do have a vitamin C. We've got two. We've got a liposomal vitamin C that is very stable. It tastes a little bit like chocolate. It's not a bad taste at all. And it is very effective. And then we've got a orange powder vitamin C that you can take. You can put it in a glass of water and it will dissolve. It's not grainy, okay? And it's a little bit fizzy, and it is great, and it is produced in Canada, and it is 100% organic, non-GMO. So you want to make sure when you're buying these kinds of supplements, you want to make sure that you're getting something that is organic, it is non-GMO. When you are not getting organic and non-GMO with your vitamin C, you're getting contaminated processes with glyphosate, and glyphosate leads to a host of inflammatory processes, which is what we're trying to stop right here, okay? Your vitamin E, of course, a lot of the vitamin E out there is synthetic. We don't want it to be synthetic. We want it to be very organic, and we want it to be the kind that you can use. Now, your CoQ10, I just need to tell you about CoQ10. CoQ10 must be liquid in order to be effective. If you're getting CoQ10 in a tablet, you're getting CoQ10 in a capsule, then you're getting something that's not going to be bioavailable. So you're just wasting your money there. So there is CoQ10 that is in a gel cap, and there is CoQ10. We've got a great liquid CoQ10 here in the clinic. It is extremely expensive, but it does what it needs to do to the mitochondria. And so when you're doing these kind of supplements, you're investing in your health. You're investing in your aging process. So you want to age well, you want to age gracefully, and you want to make sure that those mitochondria powerhouses stay very active and functional, okay? It says dosing is best done by weight, and it typically goes far beyond the RDA recommendations or standard dosing as recommended by the supplement companies. And we definitely know that that is true. We've got a vitamin here that I absolutely love. It's very effective. Everybody that's on it can feel the difference. But in some cases, it's hundreds of percent times more than the FDA requires. So the RDA allowances, and it's my understanding, and this has been a while since I studied this, so I may be out of date here, but the last time I looked, and it's been a few years since I did this, the RDAs were set in the 1960s. We are in 2020 now. Things have changed. In the 1960s, there was no electromagnetic smog. Okay, we didn't have Wi-Fi, we didn't have cell phones, we did not have microwaves. There were just a whole lot of things that are environmental stressors that we did not have then. Now we have a lot more environmental stress in our community, in our environment, and thank God for Wi-Fi, thank God for internet and all that kind of stuff, so I'm all excited about that. But we've got to protect ourselves just a little bit better, and we need a little bit more nutrition in order to do that. So make sure that if you're dosing, you want to get the appropriate dosage for your age and your weight. And most things that you buy in the big box stores. They're made of very poor quality nutrients, and they are also not very high in the active ingredients. So you need to look at that. I've told this before, but I just feel led to tell it again. There's this great supplement company. There's this great supplement company that advertises on Christian radio on Saturday. Now, I haven't heard them in a long time, but they used to be all over the place. And I would listen to it because I like talk radio. It's just something that I enjoy. And their science was brilliant. I mean, it was absolutely spot on. Well, I never bought any of their products because I worked in a place that had supplements. It was long before we bought the clinic, so it was some years ago. And I didn't need to purchase anything from the internet or whatever, so I didn't pay any attention to actually what their product was. But we did have a customer come in, and she said, look what I bought, and it was that brand that advertised on the Christian radio. And it was expensive. It was as expensive as anything that we had in the store. And I looked at it and I said, well, let me look at this because I really want to see what they are doing. And I asked her what the price was, and she told me. And when I looked at the ingredients, it had about a quarter of the active ingredients of what we had comparable in the clinic there. So this is something that you want to look at, especially when you're buying things online, when you're buying things off the internet, which we do not recommend, okay? The really, really good supplements that are practitioner only will only sell to licensed professionals, and they do not sell to Amazon. If you're finding that same brand on Amazon, what you're finding is a counterfeit product that will not work. Yes, it will be cheaper, but it will not work. In case in point, some of you know you've been seeing our ads for Shape Reclaimed. Now, Shape Reclaimed is a great anti-inflammatory product. It is a nanomolecular supplement, which is just this big name that it is a homeopathic product. It's very good. It has absolutely changed my life in a lot of ways with my endocrine system. Of course, your endocrine system is everything that produces a hormone. Well, let me back up. Part of the recommendations, if you are a Shape practitioner, and we are, you've got to follow the rules of the corporation. And one of the rules is if someone starts on this protocol, they have to come in no less than once a month. Well, some people are not going back to their practitioners because they don't want to pay the fee to go and see their practitioner. And of course, it's a very nominal fee, but they don't want to do that. And they want to order, and they found what they thought was the same product on Amazon. Now, I know these people very personally. I know them very well. I know they don't sell to Amazon. And the people on this Facebook group were talking about how they were able to bypass the practitioner support and buy this on Amazon. Well, one of the formulators got on the thread and said, yes, I looked at what's on Amazon, and yes, it says the brand name, but the label is different, and I guarantee you the product is different. Now, I will also tell you that we've had in our own clinic, we've got a hot flash remedy that is absolutely 100%, and we've never had it fail. And we had a lady that came in, she wanted to do that protocol, and so we set her up with that, and she needed to do it 30 to 60 days. And I didn't see her again for several months, 2 or 3 months. And she came in. I said, well, how are your hot flashes? She said, well, they're still here. And I said, well, you didn't continue the protocol. She said, yes, I did. She said, I ordered the exact same thing off the internet. And she said, it just didn't work. And I said, well, that was your first problem there, because you shouldn't be ordering it off the internet, because most of things that you get from Amazon are counterfeit. I think it's 70 to 80%. So just bear that in mind. I don't have the actual reference for that, but I've actually seen that myself in their documentation. And so you can Google it and look at it and that kind of thing, okay? So I'm getting off my topic, and I apologize. All right, researchers have often observed that chronic inflammation is being reduced in patients through adequate mitochondrial support, but did not have the mechanism to explain how it happened. With these new findings, we may have found the mechanism. With more than 60% of Americans possessing at least one condition associated with chronic inflammation, adding this new treatment to our toolbox may benefit millions of people. Now, remember, the mitochondria is the first responder. It says first responders should be able to sense when cellular stressor have decreased or have disappeared, allowing the immune system to turn itself off more promptly. Okay, researchers have observed that chronic inflammation is being reduced with patients through adequate mitochondrial support. Okay, so this is a good thing. Now, this other article, and I have a lot of papers here, so I apologize, but one of the things that will help with your mitochondrial support is ginger. Now, I'm not a fan of ginger. Okay, to me, it's hot. I don't like hot things, and so when I buy something that has a lot of ginger in it, I really have to dilute it a little bit because it's just too hot for my taste. But maybe I need to change my taste because it says that ginger is very good at nourishing your mitochondrial support. And so I want to just kind of go over a little bit of this with you. It says a study published in the Journal of Food Science found that ginger extract and gingerol, an active component found in ginger root, both play a similar role in stimulating the, and this is an alphabet soup here, so there's not a word that I can say. These are all these letters, okay? Stimulating the AMPK-PCGI, or sorry, G1, PCG1A pathway, okay, get all that, which regulates the process of mitochondrial biogenesis. So what this means is ginger stimulates the production of new revived mitochondria. So this is really important. Now I believe, and I don't have documents here to tell me this, but I believe the gingerol is what is found in the essential oil ginger. Okay, so the essential oil ginger is a hot oil, so be careful when you use it. I'm going to try and do some research on that to see if we can come up with a blend that is anti-inflammatory, because I know we have a lot of people out there that are using essential oils, and we love essential oils. In fact, I have ginger right here. That's what was knocked over a while ago. And it is very good. It is certified organic. It has the USDA seal on it. And that is what we recommend. Okay, we recommend that you source your essential oils very carefully. And just because they say natural does not mean that they are not adulterated. You want to have that USDA seal on them, okay? So, let me get back to my paper here. It says, while further research is warranted, researchers theorize that ginger could mitigate the effects of aging on the mitochondria and significantly reduce or prevent the onset of mitochondrial dysfunction disease such as diabetes, obesity, cancer, and cardiovascular disorders. So none of us want any of that. Okay, mitochondrial dysfunction also leads to neurological and muscular degeneration. It leads to cardiomyopathies, cancer, aging and related diseases, insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes, obesity, and obesity-related disorders. Now, this is just crazy because how many older people do you see that are really heavy, right? How many people are you seeing now that are insulin resistant? This is something that we see growing, and if this is really a mitochondrial dysfunction, if we go in and we supplement appropriately, then maybe we can turn that off and we can avoid all those things, okay? It said it is well known that environmental stressors such as short and medium-term calorie restriction, fasting, exercise, and low temperatures such as cold therapy all positively impact the process of biogenesis, okay? However, researchers are eager to discover the additional natural substances that might produce similar results in the proliferation of the mitochondria. Now, I'm just going to tell you, I am not a fan of cold therapy. I'm not a fan of cold anything, okay? I'm just going to tell you that. I'd rather it be hot outside. Now, I do like it when it's not 100 degrees, but when it is cold, down in the teens, and the heater's not working, and you have to bundle up, that's just not my favorite. That's not my favorite thing. So, cold therapy is not for this girl. Cryotherapy is just, no, I cannot even imagine getting in one of those little containers and having all that freezing air around my naked body. I just can't imagine that. Okay, so ginger's role, and I know I'm running out of time, so I'm not going to take too much more of your time here. Researchers studied the impact of ginger extract on several organs and tissues, including several skeletal muscles, the heart, the liver, and found that ginger extract positively influenced several functions related to mitochondrial biogenesis, including, okay, this is really exciting, guys, because ginger is everywhere. It's everywhere, and it's cheap, and you can get it at the grocery store. Increased mitochondrial mass, increased mitochondrial DNA copy numbers in muscle and liver tissue, increased adenosine triphosphate production, ATP. ATP is the energy of your cell. So if you are really, really tired and fatigued all the time, you have ATP dysfunction, which is mitochondrial dysfunction. So get some ginger tea, get some ginger essential oil, put it in your diffuser, maybe make a blend, a massage blend, dilute it appropriately because it is a hot oil, okay? It promotes the COX-4 and the OXPHOS, okay, OXPHOS, protein expression in liver and muscle tissue. This is a reduction in the enzymic activity of the genes linked to diabetes and obesity. We want that to be reduced, of course. It induced mitochondrial biogenesis. I told you I had a lot of paper here. Via that AMPK dash blah, blah, blah pathway that we talked about earlier, okay? Both in vivo and in vitro studies indicate that ginger has the potential to increase mitochondrial biogenesis. Researchers tested the efficacy of both ginger extract and 6-gingerol, a component in ginger root, essential oils, and found no difference in the results. Thus, they conclude that 6-gingerol may be the active component that stimulates biogenesis. Okay, so this is really, really exciting here, okay? So what other supplements help your mitochondria? Curcumin, acai berries, polyphenols. Those you find your polyphenols in your vegetables, okay? Epigalacticin 3 gallate. Okay, I'm going to have to research and find out exactly where you get that because we don't have a supplement named that. Okay, but these are the kind of things that help you with your mitochondria. Now, I want you to be good to yourself. I want you to think about inflammatory processes. As we get old, we get wrinkles, we get insulin resistant, we get muscle aches and pains, macular degeneration, all those kind of things. All of those things are because of chronic inflammation and mitochondrial dysfunction. So if we can work at the cellular level with ginger and some of these other supplements, then we can turn that off. We can turn on mitochondrial regeneration, and we will live a lot longer, a lot happier, and more stress-free because we're not going to have those age-related diseases. So I'm going to leave you with that. Hope you learned something. If you have any questions, be sure and pop them in the box and I will get back to you. And I've gone about 5 minutes over my time. I apologize. Be good to yourself. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you next week.